go.
I don't hear the sound.
No, I don't hear sound either.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
No sound yet.
Tired of struggling long, hard hours alone to create lessons, assessments, talks, etc., and are feeling a level of burnout? Hi, my name is Damon, and TESOL CPD PLN is providing this free webinar tea party that will help relieve some of your pent-up stress and fatigue with a lively discussion of end of the school year, summer plans, milestones, and a sneak preview of fall webinars. At our tea party, you will connect with many colleagues from around the globe who will share their ideas and milestones. We will laugh at past challenges and celebrate successes and inspire each other to continue on to greater future successes. Others need to hear your story and learn from you. So be active and share willingly. The tea party will help you to connect to others and find a friend or a mentor, or find a community of people to keep you inspired and help reduce the burnout effects. You may be able to help others relax and feel inspired by your story. Join us, relax, chat, get inspired, and find solutions for your career path development. Be an active participant. We welcome all teachers, administrators, researchers, and future teachers. So relax, chat, and get inspired. Thank you.
All right, how wonderful. Thank you so much, Damon. Such a beautiful introduction. I love it.
Yes.
And you have the perfect voice for that too.
So
Really.
beautiful. I listened to it 3 times.
Wow, thank you. Thank you.
Well done.
Yes. So as Damon said in the video, this is for us to get together and just chat and talk a little bit informally, of course, about the end of year. If you have any stories you would like to share about teaching or career milestones. And then the next topic would be summer plans. And then after that, I will share with all of you some of our ideas and some of the webinars that we have planned for the fall to give you kind of a sneak preview of what's to come. So first up would be our end of year stories. So if anyone would like to share anything that happened during your school year, or if you're teaching now, things that you'd like to share, either challenges or successes or anything that you would like to share as the group, ask a question. We are open to that, and we have at the moment a smallish group, so I think we will all stay together. If we get large, we'll break out into breakout rooms, but I think now is a good time for us to kind of see where we are and check in and talk about what's been happening for you in your school year. So I open the floor to anyone who would like to chat and talk a little bit about their classroom. Yes, Erica.
Hi, everyone. Good morning from Orlando. Good to be with you. Something I want to share that I found really useful, and the students, I've gotten such positive feedback back, is this summer, I teach in the mornings at Seminole State College as a part-time ESOL instructor at the English Language Institute, which is fabulous. And it would be more fabulous if it was full-time, but it's part-time. And so they said, okay, for the summer, just make up your curriculum, which is wonderful and terrible at the same time, as you know, right? Because, okay, I've got all this freedom, but oh my goodness, what am I going to do? And then you don't really find out the level of your students until you get in the classroom. And then you have to take a day or two to figure out like, okay, what's the real level and everything. So I'm preaching to the choir. But here's what I did. My background is I've been in TESOL for more than 25 years. And I'm also a career coach, career counselor. And has anyone here used American English for Educators, the website from the State Department? So if you haven't, it's fabulous. And there's lots of webinars, there's lots of resources. Right now, they're talking about visual literacy and how to use comics in the classroom from K-12 to adults and all those things. But I'm going to put it in the website. They have massive open online courses. And I used one of their courses, which was perfect for me, being an English teacher and career coach, called English for Career Development. And it was self-paced and it was perfect timing. They open it and close it. Some are facilitated, but in this case, I got to facilitate this class. So for my advanced students who, when they get to advanced, they're like, I know everything, surprise me. I said, okay, for this class, I would like to use this course for you with these results. I want you to have a resume by the end of the class. You're going to know how to use a cover letter and write a resume, American style, a cover letter. You're going to have a LinkedIn profile and you're going to conduct a career informational interview. And I'm thrilled with how surprised and invested they've been. So I use this. I would teach in the classroom. I'm right now advanced level I'm doing listening and speaking. And so it's wonderful. One of the classes I taught them was, tell me about yourself, which is a classic first question in an interview. And I taught them the structure and how to mind their own lives for how to really tell this and how to answer this question. It's not like I have 4 cats, unless you're going to work for an animal hospital. It's really tell them your quick story, bam, 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 and then, make it interesting so that the interviewer wants to ask you more things. So they've done their resumes. They finished this course. This particular course, you have to be mindful when you're using any of these courses, because this one was for low and intermediate. But you would be surprised that the students who are advanced and know everything, they were like, I would ask them to write a discussion in Canvas after they finished their course. I said, what did you learn that was useful to you today? Give me an example. Something as small as, teacher, I understand the difference between employee and employer, which I didn't really understand. Isn't that surprising? That's kind of small thing. And then, of course, the bigger thing of how to write a resume, what the purpose of a cover letter is. And then when they finished, they were able to print out a certificate of completion and get a digital badge, which if you look, it's all on their LinkedIn profiles. They're showing everybody, I finished this course, this American course. They have other topics like English for tourism, English for STEM, right? Science, technology, engineering, and math. It's really fabulous because I didn't have to create the coursework, but I looked through it and then I was able to do really great interactive activities in the classroom. One of my students from France, she's 19 years old. She took her resume and she applied to the bookstore because they can work on campus, and she started her job yesterday. Another student who is able to work outside of the school, he applied to Stetson University for a position. He also applied for a position at Seminole State. So just the fact that they got that confidence to do it. And then one of my private students who's Russian, she got a position at Seminole State. I said, her name is Nada. And I said, Nada, your English is good enough now for you to work in your expertise, in your area of expertise. She said, no, Erika, I'm so scared. I said, you know what was scary? Moving from Russia to the US. This is this scary compared to doing that whole life change. You can do it. Guys, she got a position in the finance department. So I'm just so thrilled with being able to, you know, really when you do career development, for me, it's about helping the person tell their best story. And then having this massive online open course just provides the structure. And then one last thing, and I think I won't talk for the rest of the of the session, is that I went to Costa Rica, and this is an opportunity for all of you. I went to Costa Rica for 10 days, and my sub had it so easy because she just had to take the students to the lab and they already knew what to do. In fact, they finished the open online course while I was in Costa Rica because they already had the structure. I'd already laid it out for them. If you need a sub, they just step in and kind of facilitate. That's it. Costa Rica. There's a program in the US called Youth Ambassadors. Has anyone heard of it? Okay, so I applied in 2020 to be an adult mentor for youth ambassadors. And this is an intercultural exchange program for 15 to 17-year-old high school students from across the US. They apply and a select few, relatively few, get picked, and they don't know where they're going to go. They can say, it's an intercultural exchange with Brazil and with Central America and with a few countries in South America like Brazil, Argentina, Chile. In 2020, I was selected to go to Costa Rica for 3 weeks. But what happened? The pandemic happened. So we pivoted and we created a 6-week virtual program. Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, and it was really an excellent program. And I was working, this is through the State Department. World Learning in Vermont oversees the contract, the grant, and then contracts with Georgetown University, with Amigos de las Americas, and with themselves to administer the programs. I was so lucky. I got to work with Georgetown and such excellent people. So this year, they asked me last year, they said, would you like to apply again to volunteer? I said, sure. So it's totally volunteer and you're going to work because I had 26 students and I was helping them. There was 4 mentors. We happened to all be teachers. 2 from New York, one from New York, 2 from California, and myself. And then 2 program administrators from Georgetown went down, and we took 26 high schoolers. We all met in Miami, and then we flew down to Costa Rica, and it was the most amazing program. All your lodging and your food and the excursions are paid for, but you have to work a little bit. I felt like I worked a lot. I was like, wow, this was a lot, but I was so thankful for it. And it's to do global citizenship, civic leadership. And then when the students come back, they do a follow-on project where they do a community service project. They develop it and they execute it. So if you're interested, the applications open up in around November. And I just had the best time. And I met so many people. Truly, it was life-changing. And it was 10 days instead of the original 21. I think I might have died if it was 21 because it was so intense. And then my daughter, Lily, went to a program called the Youth Ambassadors, but she went to 3 days in DC, 5 days in Santiago, Chile, and the rest of the time in Argentina. And she stayed with a host family while she was in Argentina. She did the 20 days, but she's young and vibrant and she can do that. I was trying to climb up a volcano, and I'm a flatlander from Florida, and they're trying to get me to walk in high elevations. I was like, I'm gonna die. But it was amazing. And if you ever get the chance to go to Costa Rica, the Costa Rican people, from the servers to the police, to the custom agents, you say, gracias, thank you. And they're like, oh, con mucho gusto. Like, it's so heartfelt, their kindness, which really, I was like, okay, I need to be a little more Costa Rican. And it was just wonderful. So American English for Educators is on Facebook, and they've got the open online courses, and then Youth Ambassadors through the State Department. And the State Department has tons of amazing programs for singers, Judy, for performers, for sports people. So I just encourage everyone to take a peek and look and see, oh, maybe this is something I could do. Thank you.
Wow, thank you, Erica. That was great and a wealth of information there. So I have a question about your students that you currently have or had. Was this a face-to-face kind of thing, or was everything online?
So in 2020, it was face-to-face. And last year they paid me, Georgetown paid me to facilitate. It was virtual. I'm so sorry. Did I say it was virtual in 2020? 2020 virtual, last year virtual. This year, it was a small miracle that it was face-to-face. And we had to do COVID testing before getting there, COVID testing in the middle, and COVID testing the day before. And credit to Samantha Noble from Georgetown, no one got COVID because we wore masks when we were out, like at a museum or out and about. And then when we were in our little bubble, we could take our masks off. But no, it was face-to-face, and Lily went face-to-face to South America.
Wow, that's fantastic. And you used the same program, the American English for Education, for those courses, or was it different? Was there a difference between, using that information virtually as opposed to face-to-face?
I might be confused about the question. I traveled to Costa Rica, and Lily, my daughter, traveled to South America face-to-face. That was U.S. youth ambassadors.
Okay.
The other completely different resource, American English for Educators, that's where I go on their webinars and I listen, or that's where I use the massive online open course.
Okay.
And that's virtual. And some of them will say facilitated, some will say self-paced.
Okay, great. Wow. What an experience. That's fabulous. I was in Costa Rica once a while back, just a couple of days, but it was just lovely. I enjoyed it. I would love to go back there.
I recommend it. Yeah. I might be retiring there. We'll see.
Oh, you might have some visitors.
Come.
Okay, we have Judy raise her hand.
Yes, since my name got mentioned, I figured why not. Anyway, so yeah, this has been like the last 3-year roller coaster. So, as some of you knew, I'm not working at Pace University anymore because I got quietly let go due to ageism. Erica, wow. I'm a hell of a lot older than you.
You were there a long time.
Yeah, I was.
I'm sorry to hear that. That's terrible.
Yeah. But, and the funny part, I understood that they at the time when I got finally laid off, but it was like they were cutting back on our courses anyway because there was lack of enrollment due to our former president. But then I finally got let go, and then this was really bizarro because they let go of all of us young folk who are seniors. And now they're all suffering a major teacher shortage. Duh. Well, you just fired us all. So it was really funny because Pace put out a call for teachers for my job. So because I already got kicked out completely out of the system during COVID, I was like the second oldest teacher there. So I sent in a resume, which was really pretty funny, and I got a form letter that they were currently looking at people who were more qualified for my job that I taught for years successfully with high-ranking critiques. It was just really funny, and
Judy, it's all about money.
Oh yeah. It was and you know, I was shocked when I got it. My husband was like, "It's a form letter, honey, so they don't have to explain that they dumped you because of your age." Like, I was like, "Oh yeah, I get it. You know, it's a way to get around like not getting into trouble." But I thought that was pretty interesting. I was like, "Really? I'm not qualified to do the job that I did for you for years and years and years." Literally 12 months out of the year. Really? Uh-huh. Okay, fine. But that's all right. I still, even though I was teaching at Pace, I continued my literacy program that I do in a local elementary school. And it was sort of sad that we got kicked out of the classroom because of COVID. But I was really happy that this year I was finally allowed back in this school so I could play with my children again. And I mean, during COVID, I was playing with them online because the teachers had to do hybrid. So they were like, would you mind, you know, taking care of them while they're at home, while I'm taking care of them while they're in the classroom? I said, not a problem. And so I was actually able to see my children, which was kind of nice because I've known these kids now. I mean, I've been working with these guys for like 20 years. So I know some of their parents, which is pretty funny. But it was nice to see the kids again. And so that's sort of keeping me happy again, even though I lose my students that were in the university. But it was nice to see the children in live human form again. And yes, Erica, I'm singing, but I was supposed to be retired, but I don't believe in retirement, from singing over 15 years ago. So look at it as I'm being revived.
Well, it makes me funny when you say Jeremy Harmer's like, shut up and be there.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
that's loving assertiveness.
Yeah. Jeremy and I were two old ass people, so we like to joke around. He's like, yeah, if I'm getting my ass there, you're getting your ass there too.
I quote you, I don't believe in retirement. I love that statement.
I don't. I'm right now, I'm working, and that was also okay that I got laid off at Pace because it was becoming like hard to do so much, especially during COVID, because when COVID hit, everybody went online, and I've been working online for over 10 years. So unlike other people, I became more busy than I have ever been in my whole bloody life. And it became to the point of almost insanity. And my husband literally grabbed me one day and sat me in front of him and said, repeat after me, no. He goes, you damn teachers, all you want to do is help everybody, but you got to learn to say no. I said, okay, I got it. So yeah, I've been like really busy because I'm also a Zoom trainer, and I am a transformation life coach too. So I do a lot of things. I'm also I teach privately singers pronunciation because we as an English teaching profession have an issue with teaching pronunciation. We tend to teach, and that's in some ways for a normal person, that's fine. We teach for intelligibility and not for perfection in pronunciation. Unfortunately, what that does is it totally screws up anybody who happens to be a singer. Because singers come to the United States and they're getting singing lessons from singing teachers who are teaching them about sound and breath and that sort of thing. But they don't teach them pronunciation. And then they go to an English teacher because they think that's where the best place to get pronunciation from an English teacher. And the English teacher is not teaching them perfect pronunciation. They're teaching them pronunciation for intelligibility, which is an issue if you are a professional singer. You don't sing an Italian opera or an arietta in pidgin Italian. And you cannot sing an English song in pidgin English. You sing out of key, out of tune, out of notation because you are not pronouncing the sounds properly. So it is a big issue. And I noticed that right before the pandemic started, because I was meeting a lot of international singers who were like nail cringing when they opened their mouth. They had beautiful voices and terrible pronunciation. And it made them sound horrible. And one day somebody came to me because they knew I was an English teacher and asked if I would help them. And I realized, yes, of course, because who else would learn perfect pronunciation best but a singer who knows how to create sound? That's what they're about, sound production. And that's all pronunciation is about. It's about sound creation. And if they can create the sound, so what that their speaking pronunciation is intelligibility level. Their singing pronunciation must be in perfection, or they cannot work as singers. They look terrible. So yeah, I and they're the perfect students too, because they totally, as long as you're not presenting it pronunciation as pronunciation lessons, but you're presenting it as sound creation lessons for singing, they come up with absolutely perfect pronunciation. So any schmuck who says, well, Asians can't make the L and the R, bullshit. They just never got taught how to create the perfect sound. So that's what I've been doing, because all of a sudden all these other singers were like, she was really good. This German singer has been going around saying, she was great. She fixed this, and I've never been able to fix it. And so what? I have my accent when I speak, but my singing is perfect now. And so actually I've been getting students privately by singers who are like, well, we need to fix this, and nobody seems to be fixing it. I guess it's just because I'm from another country. I said, bullshit. If somebody who's not Italian can sing a perfect Italian aria in a perfect Italian pronunciation, you can sing whatever the hell you want to sing in perfect pronunciation. But that's something. And so I've started talking in conferences and stuff about to perfect or not to perfect. That is the question. And in some cases, unfortunately, it is necessary to correct pronunciation to perfection. In the case of a professional singer, they need it. Just like you would never ask them to sing a French aria in Pidgin French, or an Italian aria in Pidgin Italian, or a German aria in Pidgin German. They would be kicked out of the room faster than a speeding bullet. So there are cases where perfection in pronunciation is important. So that's what I've been doing, and my children, and I don't know, all these people want to resurrect me again. But it's fun.
Resurrect you if you didn't die.
There you go. So yes, I've become this anti-retirement. As a linguist, I think that is a stupid comment and a stupid label that we put on us who are over 60, 70, 80. Because think about it. If we're just barely 60 or even 70, you got 30 to 40 bloody more years to go. So why in hell's name are we telling everybody we're retired? That's a whole goddamn lifetime.
Yeah. Well,
It
and
just
retirement
means
is no longer sitting on the porch or holding your grandchild in your lap. I mean,
it's
Damon and I and Linda and others are retired, but we call ourselves.
you're not. If you're doing something, you're not really retired. Think about what
call
the word
ourselves
retire means.
semi-retired, because we select what we do.
Right. It's not retired. It's reinventing. I call it reinventing. You're really reinventing.
John Schmidt calls it retooling for the 21st century.
That's right. Right. We're reinventing. We're reprogramming. But retirement, it's a very bad, negative, false word, and should be struck.
Thanks for telling your story, Judy. I loved it.
Judy, the first time I met you, you taught me that because I said something about being retired, and you said to me, "You are not retired." And I remember thinking about that, like, she's right.
I mean, think about it. We're English linguists, you know? I mean, think about the word retire. What does it mean? The stupid label to put on us. And I'm a vibrational energy healer, so that's a bad energy vibration. Don't do that to yourself. Don't put that kind of negativity on your energy, because your energy is too good to go.
Yeah, and I think for the career path bit, I'm going to throw this in. We've talked a lot about helping students here, which is what teachers do. Our focus is not on students. Our focus in this group is on teachers and helping teachers to help students, but the students are frankly secondary. The teachers are our focus. And so I love the conversation. Judy, for example, Erica, you do the same in your talk. And I'm not going to talk long, but only to say you bring yourself. Yeah. So Judy's and I are about the same age, and she brings this, you know, how she swears when she talks and how she presents something so authentic. She really has this authenticity. I'm talking like you're not here, but I wanted to point that out. Erica, you have a style of presentation that's very full. I mean, I was like trying to keep up with you. You know, you're so excited about things, and but you're also controlled in the way that you deliver this information to us. A lot of information. We are so lucky. I mean, wherever we are on our career path, we bring this power of who we are on that path. And I'm noticing that today. Thanks.
But it's true. I mean, we're teachers, and no matter what I do, I'm still teaching. You know, even my folk duo, my husband and I, somebody said something about the songs that we choose. I said, I choose songs that have a message and a lesson. So I'm still teaching.
Definitely. Well, thank you, Judy, for sharing all of that. That was great and inspiring. So, anyone else would like to say a few words before we move on to maybe? Yes, Beatrice.
Well, actually, you said that we should comment on the end of year.
Sure.
But I wanted to go back a little bit longer than the end of the year. I will come to the end of the year eventually, but I want to go back to the beginning of the pandemic, when I discovered the Taco Tuesdays group, and that's where I met Liz. And then I just want to say that I'm not saying that it was a yes, actually, I can say that it was a milestone in my life.
Yeah.
It was absolutely. It was a change of not just direction, but it was so powerful, meeting every Tuesday. And then also at the time, I didn't quite know that the CPD TESOL group was different from the Taco Tuesdays. But okay, yes, eventually I found it out. But it was so refreshing for me to meet these people. It was like a professional vessel for me, like a support group. And although I had been a member and part of many, many other IATFL and other professional groups before, but throughout the pandemic, somehow this became my professional home. Because it was regular, it was very meaningful, it was so supportive. I remember the very first time when I think it was Liz, you asked me who I was, because I think I was the only stranger in the group, and I was so scared. I could hardly speak, and I thought, oh, everybody's going to judge my pronunciation, my English, my mistakes, and everything. So I might sign up for your pronunciation lessons, Judy, one day. But anyway, so this time the pandemic and the CPD TESOL group, your group, Liz, and the Taco Tuesdays really helped me to go through the whole period. Not that I was not successful, because I had been already teaching online, and I must admit that I loved teaching online in the pandemic, because my colleagues were suffering so much, and then I could find all the creative ways to bring into online teaching. I found new tricks every day, and I was so happy about them, and I shared with others. So it just went on and on. But because it was such a change of direction for me, because before the Taco Tuesdays and your group, I hadn't been in contact with the TESOL people. I had a huge IATFL network, really huge. I mean, I've known everybody in the big IATFL and everywhere, but TESOL was far away. It was over the Atlantic and everything. And then through your group, I was asked to present at TESOL, then in Israel. I was asked to be a plenary speaker at the conference, at the Israeli conference. Then I was asked somewhere else. And then just people handed me over from one hand to another. And then I was so surprised, and I thought, oh, me, the little rabbit who hardly spoke a word at the very first session. And then it was just so good.
I have to say to everybody, you were working on your dissertation then as well.
Yes, absolutely.
Just like you.
And then going back to the end of the school year now, we finished the semester at the university on the 13th of May, I think. And on the 15th of May, I was in Belfast. And that was the IATFL, going back to the roots. And I met all the TESOLer friends whom I had met during the COVID time here online. Everybody was there. I was so happy to meet people. And then people were hugging each other. So not just the IATFL people, but the TESOLers as well. So the two groups were together. And it was just such a nice experience for me. So wonderful to be together with professional friends. This is just something totally different from other friends. When you talk about the profession, your really core being, what you want, the career. And yes, everybody, I think through these meetings, we always go a little bit further. And then we are handed over from one hand to another in our career path. So that's all I wanted to say, Liz and Erica and Linda and Judy and Damon and all to you, because yeah, I think that I'm really happy to be here.
Love it. Hi, Monica.
Hello, Monica.
Hi, sorry I'm late. I just wanted to stop in and say hi to everyone. I'm with New York State TESOL.
Nice.
Hope everyone's having a great summer.
Hey, Monica.
Hi.
We're having a great discussion about our lives. But Beatrix, you want to say something about recently? You said you were going to get to that.
Yes, about the end of the year. So I finished the semester.
Yeah.
I presented at the TESOL TASTE webinar. I think Linda, it was, no, it was here in the CPD webinar. Linda, you were organizing that.
Yes.
I talked about career path development and TESOL development. And then the following day, I got on the aeroplane and went to Belfast for the IATFL conference. So for me, the end of the year was just like one thing after another, one day after another. And then, yes, it was good to finish the year like that. And of course, after I got back to Hungary, there were the exams, but that's all right.
That was probably the best thing, right, Beatrice?
Yes.
We got to see everybody in person, and hug everybody in Belfast. That was great.
Yes. But I also realized that during these online sessions, we energize each other just as well as with the face-to-face meetings. I mean, obviously, it's wonderful to go out, because what is really happening at the conference is the tea breaks and the breakfasts and lunch and the dinners and the singing nights, etc. Yes, but the energizing each other happens through these contacts and through the conversations we are having with each other. And I think that is that keeps us going.
Yeah, yeah. And I think this was Linda's concept for this tea party. We rarely have a chance, really. I mean, and Beatrix, you just did a wonderful job of talking about the face-to-face ones that are so powerful. And we can't always do face-to-face. Now we know how to use Zoom, and it's something. I mean, it's a good way to stay in touch. And in your case, wonderful example about how ITEPL TESOL came together in your life and how important that is for you. And we're so grateful that you're part of our group. Yay. Thank you, Beatrice.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Beatrice. That was wonderful. I agree with you. I think having the time to be able to connect with others is great. And we oftentimes, especially during the school year when everyone is so busy, you're so focused on your own class and your own lessons, and it's difficult to find that time to have just an open discussion to share with professionals, and that I think is where your ideas spark, right? So yeah, thanks for that. All right, wonderful. So would any
Monica, Linda, because she runs one of the biggest, most active TESOL affiliates in the entire world at New York State. Monica, what's happening with you all?
Well, we are in New York. We are in full conference planning mode because we're getting ready for our November conference. We have amazing lineup of speakers, very diverse, eclectic group of speakers, but it's a hybrid conference. So I really encourage everyone. I know that, like, you know, now that we are in this hybrid world and we've seen the benefits of, you know, using Zoom when we need it, when we want it. So New York State TESOL now is accessible to everyone, you know. So if you're interested in attending the online version or coming to be with us in New York in November, we'd love to have you. Just nystesol.org is the website. We'd love to have you join us. And we do have an amazing dance party, I will say, at the New York State TESOL conference. We do. So Liz, I see you lighting up. So I expect to see you there. We go all out. You know, I love conference planning, but I also love party planning. So we make sure that we have an excellent party.
Are you
because there, you know, there
Monica?
is, I mean, and I'm joking, but I'm not really joking, because we as educators undergo, you know, so much stress and pressure, and we need that release. It really is important. You know, when I see teachers dancing and letting loose, like it really is. It's that self-care, you know, that we all really need.
Absolutely.
And I have to tell you, you know, us New Yorkers, we do know how to party. And we draw in our affiliate some of the biggest names from ITEPL and TESOL. So there you go. Come party.
Had a question.
Come party with us.
We all talk
Yes,
too much.
Monica, are you the president of the New York TESOL affiliate?
So I was president last year, so I'm past president this year.
Oh, okay, good, super.
Our current one is awesome.
Party in Pittsburgh. I had so much fun at that party, and I got there really late. And even late, it was good.
So please, this is your formal invitation. You're all invited to join us in November, online or in person. We have our party. It's like the conference and the party. It's a half an hour north of New York City, so it's very accessible. If anyone wants to fly in, if anyone needs, let me know and we can make it happen.
Thanks so much.
sounds like a party.
I think I know where I'm going to be November 3rd through the 5th.
Are any other affiliates planning, are in conference planning mode right now? Anyone else here involved in?
Southeast TESOL is doing a conference, also hybrid, and we'll be there. Jody and I are going to do a presentation together on this topic of career path development. And Luciana is doing the keynote. I can't remember. Anyway, it's all Southeast. It's not just Virginia.
Yeah.
You can also come to the Hungarian conference in November, first weekend of November, October, sorry, October.
And who's going to be in Portland in 2023?
Well,
Are
I
we all
guess I
going?
have to be.
Wanna try to
I'm the co-chair elect for call IS, so I have to be there.
Oh, you are. Judy, good job.
Yeah, Nellie Deutsch and I are co-chair elects for call IS.
CPD has, Linda and I have worked out, and others have contributed to the our academic session. We'll have a networking session. Last year in Pittsburgh, you know, was our first kind of hybrid conference. I hauled in all this food because you're not supposed to bring in outside food. And we ended up with a very small, some of you were there virtually. I think nobody was there.
I popped in virtually for a few minutes.
We had a couple of virtuals. Mostly it was like 10 of us, let's say, in the room. Julie Lake and I and Shirlane were there. And we had a darling little small event, and we had food left over, and we delivered it to the volunteers who were doing registration, and they were so happy. It was a great conference, and I'm sure Portland's going to be even better. I look forward to seeing everybody there.
I have to talk to my relo officer here in Belgrade. Here, I mean, in Europe.
Greetings to your relo in Belgrade.
Kevin McCarthy is there at the moment.
Oh, Kevin, okay.
Yes,
I think he might be going to Tashkent next.
Yeah, he might be. He likes traveling, but I would be happy if he sponsored me going to TESOL next year.
Yeah, I hope you can come. I hope to meet you in person finally.
Yes, we'll see.
Yeah, I was supposed to be in Pennsylvania, in Pittsburgh this year, but last minute I had a family issue pop up, so I had to cancel. I was like, enough with canceling trips.
You got to do what you got to do.
But I will be in Portland because
yes.
And we just put out our call, by the way, for Evo. So if anybody wants to come in, it doesn't just necessarily have to be a talk about, you know, we could do a career path development section in Evo. And, you know, so think about it, guys. It's, you know, we just put out our call for Evo sessions. So think about it. There's lots you could do. I mean, it's a 5-week session, and there's a lot you can maybe bring into that. So think about it.
Can you send us the link somehow, either on here or later?
Yeah, let me see what I can
send
grab
us
it.
the link.
Yeah, we need that.
Judy, how does it work? 5-week sessions. Can you explain how that works?
Yeah.
Okay, so I do the young learners teaching English as a foreign language. So young learners.
Everybody is Electronic Village Online.
Right.
Yes.
EVO is Electronic Village Online. The CALL IS, which is the Computer Assisted Language Learning IS, which I am the co-chair for. We run something called EVO every year. It's at the beginning of the year. And it's kind of an extension to the Electronic Village that we do every year in the conference, in the TESOL conference. We are working this coming year in Portland because we were like, you know, you didn't give us space and everybody was missing it. So they're working on giving us space again in the conference. But we have an Electronic Village section in the conference every year. And what we started doing a bunch of years ago was we started doing Electronic Village Online, which is an extension to that. And what it is it's a 5-week sessions that are all run concurrently. People can they're for free. People can sign up for any of the 5-week sessions, though we try to encourage people not to sign up for every one of them because they'll be absolutely bonkers trying to do all of them. 1 or 2 is usually a good idea, but it's 5 weeks and you could do whatever you want depending on, you know, what your subject or whatever. So like I'm part of the Young Learners one, which I've been doing for a number of years now. And so each week we have a different section or a different project. So a different teacher comes in and we work on a particular section or week. So it's 5 weeks of PD, right? For
So
young learner
on
teachers.
CPD, Damon could do something on Doodly.
Yeah,
Linda-
I mean, you could, I mean, and you could do something on for teachers' career development. You could maybe do 5 weeks with different, each week, like, wellness or mindset or, what type of career paths, there's in each
Communities of practice.
yeah, I mean, there's so much you could do, and it could be done. It doesn't have to be done synchronistically. It could be done asynchronous. There's different ways you could do it. Most of them are done on Nellie's Moodle platform, but you could do it on any platform you want. I mean, it's basically, the only requirement that we do have is that if you do want to put up a session or you propose a session, that sometime, I think it's in October, we have a moderator's requirement. So if you are the moderator for the session, you're kind of required to go through this moderator's session program. Yeah, and basically we take you through by hand, creating your 5 weeks, making sure that all the tech things and all the buttons and everything that's all put together correctly so that it can go off successfully.
Are the proposals vetted? Are they vetted?
Yeah, we do go through the proposals. The proposals are being put through now, and then what happens is the ones who really are serious, they come into the moderators thing. So actually the proposals are not actually accepted completely until you go through the moderators session. And then after you go through the moderator session, then they get accepted totally or not get accepted because you totally are off the grid and not
So much.
Sometimes we get, very rarely, but do we get
Thanks
somebody
so much.
who
Love that
completely-
link at your convenience.
Yeah, let me see what I can get.
Thank you. Linda, I think we're coming up on the top. I don't know what time it is.
Yeah, it's about time for the end of session, but before we go, I'd like to share with you, oh, Erica, she's so sweet. She's like, I don't want it to end. So I would just like to share with you some upcoming things that we have on our fall webinar menu. Don't hold us to any of this because a lot can change between now and then. These are some things that are in the planning stage. And so we don't have exact dates for a lot of them, which is fine. But I just wanted to give you an idea of some of the things that we're looking at. So Wei-Yu, do you have the slides? Would you like to put those up or?
Yes, give me a minute. I will put it up.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, so the next slide will show you our September. Yeah, so September, we have TESOL Teacher Educators Professional Development Challenges, Successes, and Opportunities, and that will be with Tabitha Kidwell, and that will be probably our opening for September because we're all taking a break in August. And then hopefully we are going to have Mark Algren sometime later in September talking about funding graduate study, which also it has been and continues to be a popular topic. A lot of people are looking for funding, and so that's one that we'll address. And then October, Monica, look at that. You are on for October.
Yes, there I am.
Professional
And
growth.
that, can I
go
just
ahead.
say, Linda, so that Liz Enrica is someone I connected with the Climb Mentor Program. So she and I are doing that session together.
That is so fantastic. I love that. I didn't know that was the connection, and I love it.
Thank you.
And I've been in touch with Enrica a little bit, but I love the topic of professional growth on a budget. I think, that's something that everyone is going to be interested in. So we're looking forward to that. And thank you for agreeing to do a webinar for us. And then Mick King, who was on our CPD team previously, talking about research and action research and those kinds of things, research for the classroom. And then November, these are also not confirmed 100% with dates, but we have Taking the Other Path, R&D on career path development with our very own Damon Anderson and Richard Boyum. And then we have digitalizing teaching learning, starting from scratch, a teacher's journey, a teacher trainer's journey of professional development. And this is a doctor from Turkey. And so hopefully those will come into fruition and we'll be able to offer those webinars all to you in fall. But those are some of the things I'm working on. And yeah, we're looking forward to it. So, and if you know anyone who you think would be a great speaker, or you would like to present something yourself, you're welcome to let me know, and I'm happy to follow up with that. So I'm going to put my email also here in the
chat.
Linda,
thanks so much. Beatrix did an amazing presentation. It's on YouTube. We do record these for those who, have lives and can't come and show up for our live presentations. You always have access to the YouTube recordings of these. I strongly recommend you have a look at Beatrix's, because I, for one, have looked at it twice because it's so rich and in depth on this topic of career path development.
Yeah.
I consider myself to be the mother of career path development because I wrote a book on it. But Beatrix is certainly my sister in that effort.
Look at all the things that I've marked here.
But the webinar program that Linda has just described for fall is like a little teeny sense of the breadth and depth of our work. We have people on that, as you can see, Erica with her friend from Climb coming together to do a webinar. Oh no, it was, I can't remember who it was. It wasn't Erica. Sorry, it was Monica. And her, the mentee. And really, there's just so much going on, and on so many levels. Damon, who is retired, Judy, she's not here, I don't know where she went, retired Relo, and his colleague Richard, who's retired Relo. Unbelievable collection of experiences to share and to learn from as we kind of go forward. So, there's no stopping us. Yes, Erica, we take breaks, but we don't ever go away or stop. So thank you all for being here. Linda, I'm going to turn it over to you to say your last words here. Thank you.
Oh, my last words, that doesn't sound good. I hope they're not my last words, but thanks to all of you for coming and for all of your great contributions. We really, really appreciate it. And I hope you have a great rest of your day or evening or wherever it is you are. And look forward to seeing you at our next event, which will be posted, as you know, on Facebook and on our TESOL site to let you know what's coming, and perhaps look forward to another great doodle from Damon to introduce our upcoming webinars. So thanks so much for joining us. We really appreciate your input.